FanTheory is filled with predicted spoilers. By fans, for fans. It is only intended for entertainment purposes. You have been warned. I really love lists.
Yeah.
I love lists. Do you like lists? Yeah? Cool. Great. Hey guys, I'm here with Steffan Mock, who is a filmmaker. He is also a huge fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as am I, so I thought of no better guest than to have on to rank the Marvel Cinematic Universe films in order from worst to best. Mind you, Thor Ragnarok has not yet come out. So let's get to this.
Let's do it. Avengers Age of Ultron.
A lot of people hate Age of Ultron. It's a general consensus amongst most people online even that Age of Ultron was one of the worst Marvel films. And I'm like, I don't understand how. I do get that, yes, it was a convoluted story. It was a little complex. And yes, Ultron could have been more evil, less emotionally driven because he's a robot. But at the same time, I think it did what no other Marvel movie did. It connected so many pieces and it helped set up all of these different storylines, including Thor Ragnarok. It introduces Vision and Scarlet Witch and briefly Quicksilver. Yes, it's not the Avengers. It has so many great action scenes, but with the train
you get
and
the Hulkbuster.
Without the Avengers Age of Ultron, I don't think a lot of the movies would make as much sense. It did a lot with way too much working against it. I mean, even Stan Lee's like, who's Ultron? I really think it is a fantastic film. I watch it all the time.
Finally make Hawkeye kind of a character.
I felt weird though seeing Barton go home to his wife and kids. He's like a playboy in the comics.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how I felt about the Hulk and Black Widow thing. It was really weird for me. Bravo to Joss Whedon. I'm a huge fan of him, so of course I'm biased. I think it definitely deserves the ranking it got. At number 3, and we both agreed across the board that Captain America: The Winter Soldier deserves this ranking because it is one of the best Marvel films, period. There was a great story arc across the board. There were so many great action scenes. It felt more grounded in reality than the rest of the Marvel films.
Absolutely. Turning it into that kind of spy thriller.
Badass. I never saw him that way. I thought he's some douche that throws a shield that keeps coming back to him. But no, he's so cool. And the way they use him in the movie was just so great. I love this movie.
Falcon was great.
There weren't really any plot holes.
The Winter Soldier, one of the rare, really good Marvel villains.
The Winter Soldier's so freaking cool.
Yeah. Number 2, and this was hard to choose between 1 and 2.
Impossibly hard.
The Avengers.
It's the biggest hyped movie, and it delivered.
Oh yeah, you just knew all of these movies are slowly building to this moment.
There was plenty of internal battle between them. There was already an emotional attachment to Agent Coulson. His loss was the perfect character who connected all of them together.
I remember being in the theater.
It was life-changing.
Day, whenever it's like getting to see all these characters that I watched so many movies of already.
Yeah.
Finally share the screen together.
Even though they're in the same universe, still felt so completely disjointed and disconnected, and yet you believed it. They're all here. This is really happening. It was a milestone in cinematic history, really. This was basically the intro to the cinematic universe.
Showed that it can be done and done well.
Yeah, Avengers was a big deal. If you haven't seen that movie, there's something wrong with you. Number 1 is actually Guardians of the Galaxy. This movie came out of nowhere. It was an August release, which is where they put all the worst movies.
No one knew any of the characters. James Gunn, who his biggest movie before that was Super.
They were not planning on connecting them at all to the Avengers, but it's so incredibly successful. It is probably, I'd say, the most successful Marvel film to date, especially for what it did with such a small budget. Exceedingly low, and yet it more than outgrew, I think, any of them in the box office numbers. Introducing all these interestingly weird characters.
Yeah, a raccoon and a tree.
The kiln. It was just such a great scene to see them break out.
The most fun. You get the soundtrack. It was such a thrill just sitting there watching it. And
so
just
much comedy.
enjoy.
The action was beautiful. It was very well done. If you haven't seen any of these movies, go see them. Not necessarily in this order. I prefer chronological, or at least release date. Because if it's chronological, you'd start with Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah.
Or the opening scene to Thor: The Dark World.
You're even breaking it down by scenes.
This has been our epic 16 list ranking review of the MCU films. I'll probably be updating this once more with you once Thor: Ragnarok and Black Panther come out. This has been our fan theory. What is yours? If you enjoyed this video, check out the rest of the list with parts 1 and 2 of our Marvel Cinematic Universe epic ranking over on the left. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe down below. Better click soon or you'll have to rewind. Better click. Click it. Better click it soon.